You guys missed it yesterday. We saw one of the most extreme cases of athleticism. Michael Pineda absolutely flies down the line, and the Cardinals just barely turn a double play. I mean, look at how fast this man was moving. Obviously, I am joking, but what's going on, everyone? It's Fuzzy. Welcome back to yet another MLB recap. We have a lot to talk about today. Kris Bryant made his debut for the Giants. We have yet another 3-home run game to talk about, and also potentially the bat flip of the year, as well as Cody Bellinger got benched for Albert Pujols. Not a good day to be a Bellinger fan, but I think that he will bounce back. Just hopefully it comes soon, because he has not been good ever since 2020 started. Now, I do want to mention Kumar. We all know that he was a superstar for Vanderbilt and the 10th overall pick by the Mets just a few weeks ago in the 2021 draft. Well, the Mets and Kumar could not come to an agreement. Scott Boras was pretty much saying his elbow is healthy, and the Mets were saying, no, it's not. So they chose not to sign him. So the Mets lose out on a draft pick this year, but they're going to gain it back in 2022. I don't know. The whole draft is kind of weird because you're getting these young superstars for essentially pennies on the dollar, and I don't really trust these teams to always do the right thing, because the Cubs gave a 6th rounder. Usually in the 6th round you get about $250,000. They gave him $1,000. How is he going to live? They pretty much said, hey, take the $1,000 or you're not playing baseball. So to me, I'm going to side with the players on this and say that Kumar is most likely healthy, but then again, it could be a Brady Aiken situation. If you don't remember, Brady Aiken was selected #1 overall by the Astros. They didn't sign him because of a failed physical, and then he had to get Tommy John. So maybe I'm just being pessimistic about teams and their manipulation. So let me know your thoughts in the comment section down below. Now let's go ahead and get into the walk-off victories from yesterday. We have the Nationals versus the Cubs. Rafael Ortega, we're going to talk about him a lot in today's video. He hits his first home run of the game. Yes, he had multiple yesterday. Josh Bell, he knocks in 2, and Yadiel Hernandez drives in Josh Bell, as Bell ended that game with 3 RBIs. So you're thinking the Nationals are going to run away with this victory. No, Rafael Ortega hits home run number 2. Then Yadiel hits a home run to make it 5-3. But Ortega was not done yet. He had 3 home runs yesterday. His third one ties it up, and then guess what happens? Yadiel Hernandez, with his 2nd home run of the day, he walks it off. So for the first time in big league history, a player had 3 home runs in a game and lost in back-to-back days. That has never happened before, because we saw Sebi Zavala do it for the White Sox. They lost, and now with Ortega, 3 home runs, and they took the L. It's never been done before. So Yadiel Hernandez had a big-time performance yesterday. Let's move on to another walk-off. We have the White Sox versus Cleveland. Miles Straw hits a home run in his debut with Cleveland, and Cal Quantrill was dominant. He has a 1.17 ERA in his last 23 innings pitched. Now, Jose Abreu did get hit by a pitch again. They're going to have to stop doing that, otherwise Cleveland players are going to get hit. That's just how baseball works. The Chicago pen was nasty. Aaron Bummer, Craig Kimbrell, and Liam Hendricks, they really shut down Cleveland. And then Brian Goodwin with the bat flip of the century. He sent this one to space. Chicago is now 9 games ahead of anyone in that division. I mean, that division is all but wrapped up. The season is probably over for Cleveland and everyone else in the AL Central, at least for teams not named the Chicago White Sox. And the last but not least for the walk-offs, the Rangers versus the Mariners. Marco Gonzalez was fantastic, only allowing 1 earned run in 6 innings. And Kyle Seager on this bunt makes it 3-1. So in my opinion, I thought the Mariners were going to coast for a victory because they have a pretty decent bullpen, but no, Andy Ibanez, he ties it up. And then for the 2nd consecutive game, Jonah Heim hits a walk-off home run. That has to be such a good feeling. And the Mariners have now folded the last week, I think losing 2 out of 3 to the Astros, and then back-to-back losses in walk-off fashion because the bullpen blew it. Yeah, that's not good. So Cody Bellinger was benched yesterday in favor of Albert Pujols. We'll talk about Bellinger's stats in just a moment, because Mookie Betts was playing second base yesterday because they weren't going to bench Chris Taylor or AJ Pollock. So yes, Cody Bellinger was going to hit the bench. Mookie Betts makes a great play in the first, and the Dodgers score 5 in the second after, again, Bellinger was benched. He has a 163 batting average and a 51 OPS plus. Statistically, he might be the worst hitter in all of baseball so far in 2021. So the Dodgers, they go up 7-0 for Julio Urias, who has 7 strikeouts on 0 walks and 5 shutout innings. And then they score more. AJ Pollock drives an RBI on a double. Justin Turner hits a 3-run shot, and Pollock ends the day with 4 base hits. So he now has a 140 OPS plus and a 304 batting average. And then you factor in Mookie Betts hitting a home run. I mean, at this point, they're going to do everything they can to not have Cody Bellinger in that lineup if he continues to be not good. And saying not good is an understatement. He has been atrocious, but because he's Cody Bellinger, he has a long leash, but maybe that's coming to a close. Let's talk about the other two top dogs in the NL West. We have the Padres facing off against the Rockies. Jake Cronenworth got the party started with a 2-run double. He has a 4.1 WAR already on the season. Ha-Seong Kim, he drives in 2. That was right before Eric Hosmer and Will Myers, they teamed up to make it 6-1. And then Kim, this dude goes 420 feet, and he knew it. He pimped it, and he has to be huge going forward because Tatis is going to be out for the next 10 days, maybe even more, if they elect to have season-ending surgery on that shoulder. And then the Giants were facing off against the juggernaut Houston Astros. Yuli Gurriel hits a 2-run home run in the first, and Kris Bryant, he hits a home run in his debut. So Anthony Rizzo, Javier Baez, and Kris Bryant, they all homer in their debut for their new teams, and that ignites a 3-run third inning for the Giants. I guess you could say it was a rough outing for Luis Garcia because he allowed a 2-run shot in rough, and Logan Webb is pretty good. 6 innings, only allowed 2 earned runs, and Jake McGee, he converts his 23rd save of the year. He was so bad for the Rockies, and same with Brian Shaw. Now all of a sudden both of those guys are fairly good in 2021. Brian Shaw's been a little bit shaky, but I would say for the most part he has been better than what he was in Colorado. So San Francisco is the first team to 66 wins, and Ruff has 17 home runs and an almost 160 OPS plus over his last 115 games. Those are elite numbers. Superstar prospect Reed Detmers was making his debut, and he struck out 2 A's in the first inning as Max Stassi and Mayfield, they make it 3-0 for LA before the third inning, but then Matt Olson gets payback after striking out in the first, so he hits a 3-run shot, and then Yan Gomes had a big day. He goes 412 feet in a 5-run third inning, and Gomes ends the day with 3 RBIs as Jed Lowry knocks in 2 more later on in the game. Starling Marte, I don't know if we have any highlights for him, but he had 3 base hits and 3 stolen bases. He is going to be so good for Oakland. So the A's, they absolutely own the Angels, and that was a big victory as the Yankees are streaking. They're 3-0 since trading for Joey Gallo and Anthony Rizzo, so they're going to have to keep pace if they want that wild card spot. Jose Barrios made his debut for Toronto and was electric. Bo Bichette, he makes a snow cone grab, and then Springer drives in an RBI on a double, and Simeon, he does some damage as well. Espinal hits a home run and then walks in another RBI later on in the 5th with the bases loaded, and Barrios goes 6 shutout innings, only on 1 walk with 7 strikeouts. So the Jays, they're 3.5 games back of the wild card, but they look pretty good going forward. Now, speaking of the wild card, the Yankees, they're in the hunt as well. So Jordan Montgomery with 5 solid innings on 5 strikeouts, only allows the 1 earned run. Tyler Wade makes a spectacular dive in the 6th inning, and Sandy Alcantara, I hear it said both ways. I'm going to say Alcantara. He goes 7 shutout innings with 10 strikeouts. The second base hit he allowed was the first hit as a Yankee for Joey Gallo on this double, but they wasted the double. Either way, Rizzo and Judge, they take advantage of an error from third baseman Brian Anderson, and then they score 1 more in the 9th inning as Chapman cased 2 for his 22nd save. So the Yankees sweep the Marlins, and they are 2.5 games back to the wild card. Anthony Rizzo carried them in that series. And look for Joey Gallo to start getting hot after he roped that double. He's hitting a lot of baseballs hard, and he's taking a few walks. Yes, he's going to strike out a lot, but that's Joey Gallo. The Rays versus the Red Sox, we have Brandon Lau hitting his 23rd home run. He almost has 40 home runs and a 140 OPS plus over his last 154 games. That is stupid. Hunter Renfroe goes yard for his 16th home run, but then you have Manuel Margot driving in an RBI in the 5th, and Shane McClanahan was electric. 7 strikeouts, only 1 earned run in under 7 innings. Margot, he makes a great Spider-Man catch on Spider-Man Day in the 7th inning as Matt Whistler saves it, and the Rays sweep the Red Sox. And Boston, they're now 1.5 game back of first place. They need Chris Sale back ASAP. The Brewers, man, they have an MVP candidate in Willy Adames. He's not going to win, but ever since he got traded, he has been playing like 13 home runs already as a member of the Brewers. Both starting pitchers were pretty good. Charlie Morton only allows 2 earned runs with 6 strikeouts, and Brett Anderson has been almost unhittable over the last month. 1 earned run in 5 2/3 innings. As the bullpen backs him up, Devin Williams strikes out 3 in the 8th inning, and Josh Hader, he turns in his 22nd save of the year. So the Brewers are 7 games ahead of anyone, and Atlanta, they lose another game after getting so close to 500. So we know if they're close to a 500 record, they are going to start losing a bunch of games. The Cardinals versus the Twins. The Twins had the early momentum after Andrelton Simmons plates 2. But then we saw in the intro, Nolan Arenado made a fantastic play to throw out Michael Pineda, one of the top echelon athletes in all of Major League Baseball, just absolutely flying down the line. Dylan Carlson and Goldie, they tied up, and then Edman grabs the lead on some bad defense from Minnesota. O'Neill scores on a wild pitch from his former teammate John Gant. I mean, that's what John Gant does. He does not throw strikes, and he takes forever to pitch. It's kind of annoying. You have Edmundo Sosa driving in an RBI on a single and then hitting a home run later on in the game as Yadier Molina, in between all of that madness, he passed Albert Pujols for the 4th all-time in base hits for any Cardinals player. I mean, he's only behind Rogers, Hornsby, Stan Musial, and a few other insane players. He passed Albert freaking Pujols. So is Yadier Molina going to make the Hall of Fame? Let me know in the comment section down below. I would say he is a lock, a first ballot Hall of Famer. The Phillies torched Pittsburgh yesterday. JT drives in an RBI on a single, and Gene, the hit machine, drives in 2 more as Brian Reynolds. I do want to show this for Pirates fans. He is so good in center field and with the stick in the batter's box. Easily one of the top 50 players in baseball so far in 2021. Philly goes up 8-1 before the 8th, and that was just additional insurance runs for Kyle Gibson, who almost goes 7 innings, only allowing 2 earned runs, so that was a big-time pickup for Philadelphia. JT has 5 base hits with 4 RBIs, and they end up scoring 15 runs. Girardi, he was very tough on them the day before, saying that the offense didn't show up, and they showed up big time as they're 3.5 games back to the Mets. Speaking of the Mets, they got worked by Cincinnati, and some dude named Max Schrock. So Schrock rocked this one. This one goes over the wall, and then Baez nails Suarez with a 92-mile-per-hour throw to save a run. Then Kyle Farmer drives in an RBI on this triple that was just out of the reach of Kevin Pillar. He has a .411 batting average over his last 19 games. The Reds, they go up 4-0 as Vlad Gutierrez throws 7 innings, only allowing 1 earned run, and Schrock ends up going 5 for 5, and Naquin drives in 2 on a double. So the Reds are 4 games back of San Diego for the last wildcard spot. And then last but not least, the Tigers versus Baltimore. The Orioles go up 2-0 on 3 doubles, but then you have Jeimer Candelario and Eric Haas combining to give Detroit the league. Eric Haas just won Rookie of the Month for all of July. Both starting pitchers were able to settle down, and Maikel Franco makes a wild play later on in the game. And Akil Baddoo, he now has no weakness. He drives a ball to the left side against a lefty for an RBI, and he now has a .364 batting average with runners in scoring position. And the Tigers bullpen, they did not implode, thankfully. Michael Fulmer, he's back from the injured list, and I'm not gonna lie, he looked pretty good. All right, everyone, well, that does it for today's MLB recap. Thank you all so much for watching. If you enjoyed, leave a like and subscribe. Remember to use code Fuzzy on SeatGeek to save yourself $20 off and enjoy this day in MLB history.
Back and tag and stumble.